More and more states are defining their interests in the world now, not in pro or anti-American terms, which in some ways is a good thing when it comes to anti-American, but it's really about their national interests. So the debate about Turkey, is it going east instead of west? No, it's actually about Turkish conceptions of their national interests. The debate about Brazil and other sorts of things. And I think what we're seeing there is a sense of a range of national interests. Secondly is a sense of identity. Countries that now are being, given seats at the table have a great sense of pride. When you go to Brazil, people talk to you about their visions of their greatness that go back to the late 19th century, in a sense now that they're finally being taken seriously. And they want that identity to be respected, not just to be seen as sort of revolving around the United States. And part of that is history as well. In China and India and Japan. Let me make a plug for my colleague Patrick Smith, who's written a wonderful book about this, that talks about their sense of history. Well, that goes back, their abilities to achieve greatness again is in some ways a return to their sense of their long-term history. And so the international system is one in which in some ways it's much more complicated because there are more states and more actors pursuing their national interests than ever before. The other part of this is the way politics are working today for the globe. And it's not just about the architecture, but it's what I want to go on record as having saying that I've been calling for the last 3 years, and things I've written, the Vegas dilemma. Because Tom Friedman used that in his column this morning, and he probably reached many more people this morning than I've reached in the last 3 years. But it's the same idea that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens inside states doesn't stay inside states. We're seeing that in Egypt now. You see that in terms of the questions of global public health and pandemics. And if to a certain extent the Cold War was the internalization of the external conflicts between the superpowers, what the 21st century really is about in some ways is the externalization of internal dynamics to a much greater extent. And so all of that contributes to a world in which part of the notion of the end of arrogance for us is recognizing that it's not Ptolemaic, that we're not at the center. It's not that China or anybody else is at the center, and some of the pushbacks China's gotten have been demonstrations of that, but that this is the kind of world in which you have this global competition of ideas.